Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into the emotional roller coaster that is General Hospital. From desperate pleas and unresolved tensions to second chances and heartbreaking realizations, the drama in Port Charles is more intense than ever. So, get ready for a thorough breakdown of what's coming next, as we explore the pivotal decisions that could reshape lives, rekindle old flames, and challenge the very core of our favorite characters' identities. Anna's desperate gamble, a plea for trust amid uncertainty. In the tangled web of alliances and betrayals that define Port Charles, Anna Devane finds herself in a precarious position. Once a woman of unshakable confidence and a razor-sharp mind, she now teeters on the edge of desperation. The General Hospital spoilers reveal that Anna will plead with Jason Morgan, urging him to take a leap of faith and trust her. But trust, as we all know, is a fragile thing, especially between two people with a history as convoluted as theirs. Jason is not a man who gives second chances lightly. His life has been built on precision, on knowing exactly who he can rely on, and Anna has, on more than one occasion, led him astray. Whether it was her murky past with the WSB, her questionable allegiances, or her previous lapses in judgment, Jason has every reason to be skeptical. And yet, there's something in Anna's demeanor that suggests she is truly sincere this time. She isn't just asking Jason to believe in her, she's asking him to believe in the system, a system that has failed him time and time again. Can she truly convince him that the PCPD has changed? That justice, in this instance, is better served through the law rather than his own methods? Given Jason's history of handling things his way, it's an uphill battle. However, recent interactions have hinted at a more calculated, strategic Anna. Her conversation with Elizabeth Weber was perhaps the most level-headed we've seen her in a long time. Does this mean she's regaining her old spark, or is it merely a fleeting moment of clarity? Regardless, Jason remains torn. If he aligns with Anna, he risks putting his faith in a system that has failed him. If he ignores her, he may miss an opportunity to put an end to a greater threat. The stakes are higher than ever, and this decision could change everything. Lulu's crisis, a mother's guilt and a battle for balance. On the other side of Port Charles, Lulu Falconeri finds herself confronting one of the most painful questions a mother can ask: am I failing my children? Self-doubt creeps in as she wrestles with her responsibilities, questioning whether she's done enough to hold her family together. Her daughter is on the run with a fugitive father, a situation that no mother should ever have to endure. And yet, instead of succumbing to helplessness, Lulu has thrown herself into the mission of bringing her daughter home. Her dedication is undeniable. She has fought tooth and nail, pulling every string, exhausting every resource. She has challenged the system, demanded answers, and refused to back down. From a distance, it looks like the embodiment of fierce maternal love. But up close? The cracks begin to show. Her relentless pursuit has come at a cost. Her son, once the center of her world, now lingers in the background, his needs unintentionally overshadowed by her all-consuming mission. It's not that she doesn't love him, it's that she's spread too thin. Between arguing with Brooklyn Quartermain, handling financial struggles, and navigating the ever-complicated presence of Sam McCall, Lulu's life has become a whirlwind of chaos. Dante Falconeri, ever the voice of reason, will likely assure her that she's doing just fine. But is that really the truth? Or is he simply trying to ease the burden of guilt pressing down on her shoulders? A mother's love is infinite, but time is not. If Lulu doesn't find a way to balance her responsibilities, she risks losing more than just a fugitive daughter. She risks losing the connection with the son who still stands by her side. Brad's fight for redemption, a second chance at love or a doomed reunion? Meanwhile, Brad Cooper finds himself on the verge of a new chapter. Or perhaps, a repeat of an old one. After everything that transpired, the deception, the heartbreak, the irrevocable damage caused by the baby swap scandal, Brad was left with nothing. The love of his life, Lucas Jones, walked away, leaving him to pick up the shattered pieces. For a long time, it seemed like there was no path forward, no way to undo the damage. And yet, hope has a way of resurfacing in the most unexpected places. Lucas is back in town, and Brad has been working tirelessly to prove that he is not the same man he once was. He's been focusing on self-improvement, hitting the gym, attending conferences, and making an effort to turn his life around. But is it enough? The answer may come sooner than he thinks. While at the Savoy, Lucas approaches Brad with a simple yet significant offer. Would you like some company? It's a moment loaded with meaning. Is this an olive branch? A hint of forgiveness? A second chance? Or is it merely an act of politeness, nothing more than a fleeting moment of kindness with no real weight behind it? If Brad wants this to be the start of something real, he will have to tread carefully. Lucas is not the same man he once knew. The wounds of the past still linger, and forgiveness is never guaranteed. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer, ever the protective force in her brother's life, is bound to have something to say about this. Even if she doesn't fully understand why, she has an undeniable urge to intervene, to steer Lucas away from Brad before history repeats itself. So, what does the future hold? Can Brad prove that he has truly changed? Or is he doomed to repeat the mistakes that cost him everything? Final thoughts, a town on the brink of change. Port Charles stands at a crossroads, its residents faced with decisions that will define their futures. Anna Devane fights for Jason's trust, hoping to convince him that the system is worth believing in, despite its many failures. Jason, ever the skeptic, must decide whether to take that gamble or walk his own path once more. Lulu Falconeri struggles with the impossible challenge of being everything at once: a mother, a fighter, a protector. But in her quest to save one child, has she risked losing another? And Brad Cooper, a man seeking redemption, teeters on the edge of a second chance. But second chances are never simple, and the ghosts of the past are never truly gone. As always, the drama in Port Charles is far from over. The choices made today will shape tomorrow, and in a world as unpredictable as General Hospital, anything can happen. Next, we unravel a gripping saga filled with deception, vengeance, and a shocking murder attempt at General Hospital. The notorious Cyrus Renaud, a man whose criminal empire has left devastation in its wake, finds himself at death's door, but not in the way anyone expected. Someone in Port Charles has taken justice into their own hands, ensuring that Cyrus never gets a second chance at redemption. But who could be responsible for this cold and calculated attack? The list of suspects is long, and the motives run deep. Could this be the end of Cyrus Renaud, or will he cheat death once again? A deadly turn at General Hospital. Who wants Cyrus dead? As the paramedics rush Cyrus Renaud through the emergency room doors, the air inside General Hospital is thick with tension. Every doctor and nurse in the building knows who he is and what he has done. Some of them have suffered personally because of his crimes, and others have watched their loved ones become victims of his ruthless decisions. There is an unspoken question on everyone's minds: should they save him? Dr. Terry Randolph and Dr. Lucas Jones, bound by their oath as medical professionals, take on the responsibility of stabilizing him. His injuries are extensive, the bullet wound is severe, but it isn't necessarily fatal. Cyrus is a fighter, and despite being close to death, he clings to life. The surgery is grueling, requiring the highest level of precision. As they work tirelessly to stop the bleeding, they know they are giving a second chance to a man who has destroyed countless lives. The moral dilemma weighs heavily on them: should they even be trying to save a man so many would rather see dead? But just as Cyrus's condition stabilizes, something unthinkable happens. An unknown figure, moving with purpose and stealth, sneaks into his hospital room. This person has waited for the perfect moment, knowing that Cyrus's survival could mean more pain, more suffering, and more chaos for Port Charles. A syringe filled with digitalis, a deadly toxin known for inducing cardiac arrest, is pressed into his foreline. The dose is administered swiftly, and within minutes, the monitors begin to blare their alarming warnings. His heart rate skyrockets. His breathing becomes erratic. Within seconds, Cyrus goes into full cardiac arrest. Doctors and nurses rush in, scrambling to save him, unaware that his body has been poisoned. The usual protocols are followed, but nothing is working. The antidote remains unused because no one realizes he has been injected with a toxin. The question now isn't just whether they can save him, it's whether they even should. A city full of suspects, who has the most to gain? The shocking turn of events leaves Port Charles buzzing with speculation. Who could have done this? The truth is, nearly everyone in town has a reason to want Cyrus dead. His reign of terror has left a trail of destruction, and now, someone has finally acted on their thirst for vengeance. But who? One of the prime suspects is Alexis Davis. The legal powerhouse turned reformed woman has every reason to want Cyrus gone for good. He was responsible for the death of her daughter, Sam McCall. The way he killed Sam with a lethal injection of digitalis mirrors what has just happened to him. Could it be poetic justice? Did Alexis take the law into her own hands to serve up the revenge she was denied in the courtroom? If so, she may have just committed the perfect crime. But Alexis isn't the only one with a motive. Laura Collins, the mayor of Port Charles, has been locked in a battle against Cyrus for years. She has tried to uphold justice, tried to stop his criminal empire, and tried to protect the people of the city. Time and time again, she has watched him slip through the cracks of the legal system. Could she have decided that the only way to stop him was to ensure he never left that hospital bed alive? Then there's Sonny Corinthos, a man who operates in the gray areas of morality. He has always been the protector of Port Charles, keeping a delicate balance between crime and order. Cyrus has threatened that balance too many times. Sonny is known for handling his enemies in ways the law cannot. Could this be his latest move to rid the city of a dangerous threat? And what about Elizabeth Baldwin? She was one of the nurses present when Cyrus arrived at General Hospital. Could she have taken it upon herself to finish the job? She has suffered because of him, lost people she loved, and lived in fear of what he might do next. Did she see the opportunity and seize it? The possibilities are endless, and the deeper the investigation goes, the more tangled the web becomes. Port Charles is filled with people who have been wronged by Cyrus Renaud. But only one of them took the final step toward justice or revenge. Jocelyn Jacks, the beginning of the end. But how did it all begin? How did Cyrus end up on that hospital bed in the first place? It all started with Jocelyn Jacks, whose curiosity and bravery led her straight into the lion's den. Jocelyn, always determined to uncover the truth, had been volunteering at Turning Woods when she received a cryptic hint from Jack Brennan. He urged her to look into Cyrus's past associates, pointing her toward secrets that had been buried for too long. Jocelyn, never one to back down from a challenge, started digging. She discovered that Austin Gatlinholt had connections to Cyrus and that there was a house being kept under wraps. The pieces started falling into place, and she knew she had to investigate. Armed with Dex Heller's gun, just in case, she made her way to Austin's house, determined to find out what Cyrus was hiding. But what she didn't anticipate was getting caught. Cyrus was waiting. He knew someone had been snooping around, and when he saw Jocelyn, he realized the truth. She had been in his room before, not Elizabeth Baldwin, as he originally suspected. The moment of realization was chilling, and in that instant, Cyrus made a decision. Jocelyn had to die. What happened next was a blur. Jocelyn, feeling the full weight of the danger she was in, pulled out Dex's gun and fired. The sound of the gunshot echoed in the night. Cyrus collapsed, wounded but still alive. The shock of what she had done left Jocelyn reeling, her hands shaking as she stared at the man who had nearly killed her. The authorities arrived within moments. Anna Devane and Harrison Chase took control of the scene. Cyrus was rushed to General Hospital, and that should have been the end of it. But as we now know, his enemies were not done with him yet. What happens next? With Cyrus on the brink of death and an unknown assailant ensuring his demise, the stakes have never been higher. The shocking mystery surrounding his poisoning could send ripples throughout Port Charles. If the truth comes to light, it could destroy lives, upend alliances, and change everything. Who really wanted Cyrus dead? Was it Alexis, seeking revenge for Sam? Was it Sonny, eliminating a rival? Could it have been one of the hospital staff, acting on impulse? And most importantly, will Cyrus survive, or is this finally the end of his reign of terror? One thing is certain: General Hospital is about to deliver one of the biggest twists in its history. What do you think? Who is responsible for the final attack on Cyrus Renaud? Is this truly the end, or is there another shocking twist ahead? Next, we dive into a suspense-filled storyline that could mark the end of Cyrus Renaud's deadly reign in Port Charles. The upcoming week promises shocking twists, dangerous confrontations, and a potential turning point in the ongoing saga of this ruthless villain. Cyrus Renaud's so-called mercy killings may finally catch up with him, but who will be the one to stop him? With speculation running wild, we break down every angle of this unfolding mystery and analyze what could lead to the most explosive showdown yet. Cyrus Renaud's motive, the mystery behind his deadly killings. Cyrus Renaud has been a menace to Port Charles for far too long, leaving behind a trail of destruction and grief. However, despite his many crimes, there remains one lingering question: why does he kill? The latest spoilers hint that his murder spree may not be as random as it seems. One theory suggests that Cyrus's latest victims have been chosen for a specific reason, and it may have something to do with Lulu Spencer's medical condition. Could it be that Cyrus killed Sam McCall to prevent her from becoming an organ donor for Lulu? If so, his actions weren't just malicious, they were calculated, designed to serve his own twisted agenda. This shocking revelation could change everything and finally explain why he targeted certain individuals while sparing others. If true, it would also provide an even stronger motive for those seeking revenge against him. Jason Morgan, the man who could end it all. One person who may not let Cyrus's crimes go unpunished is Jason Morgan. Jason has been waiting for an opportunity to strike back, especially after Cyrus's role in Sam's murder left his son, Danny, without a mother. Jason warned Cyrus once before if he ever touched Danny again, he would disappear without a trace. With recent spoilers hinting that Cyrus might target Danny once more, could Jason finally take matters into his own hands? If Jason arrives just in time to witness Cyrus laying a hand on his son, there's little doubt that he would react with deadly force. But would it be justice or revenge? Either way, if Jason is the one to pull the trigger, it will send shockwaves throughout Port Charles. Jack Brennan's role, a hero in the shadows? While Jason is a prime suspect, another possibility looms in the background: Jack Brennan. This mysterious figure has been encouraging Jocelyn Jacks to gather intel on Cyrus, seemingly guiding her toward uncovering dangerous secrets. But why? Could Brennan have been using Jocelyn as bait all along, waiting for the right moment to make his move? If so, did he follow Joss to Cyrus's hideout and intervene before she became his next victim? If Brennan was indeed lurking in the shadows, he may have taken the ultimate risk, pulling the trigger himself. But if Brennan was acting as Jocelyn's protector, what are his true motives? Was he simply trying to stop Cyrus, or is there more to his connection with this deadly game of cat and mouse? Elizabeth Baldwin, the woman who knew too much. Elizabeth Baldwin has been on Cyrus's radar for weeks, and now, she may have crossed a dangerous line. She recently met with Anna Devane to share crucial evidence against him, an act that could easily make her his next target. As we see in the preview, Elizabeth is visibly shaken when Cyrus shows up at her home, uninvited and unhinged. She knows exactly what he's capable of, and this time, there's no telling what he might do to keep her silent. But is she the one who ultimately fires the shot that could bring him down? Liz has been through enough at the hands of dangerous men, and if she finds herself in a life-or-death situation, could she finally snap and defend herself with deadly force? Jocelyn Jacks, a risky investigation with deadly consequences. Jocelyn Jacks has been treading dangerous waters ever since she decided to investigate Cyrus Renaud's past activities. Her curiosity may have led her straight into the lion's den, and now, she could be in over her head. The latest spoilers indicate that Cyrus finds Jocelyn at his hideout, catching her red-handed as she digs for information. This is where things take a terrifying turn. Cyrus doesn't hesitate, he lunges toward her, determined to eliminate the threat she poses. If Jocelyn has her wits about her, she may try to escape, but would she really stand a chance against a man as ruthless as Cyrus? This is where her only hope of survival could lie, in an unexpected hero stepping in, but who will it be? Jason? Brennan? Lucky Spencer? Lucky Spencer's potential comeback, a hero returns? There has been talk of Lucky Spencer making a return to Port Charles, and now, it seems like the perfect moment. The 2025 spoilers hint that Elizabeth will put her life into Lucky's hands. Could this mean he arrives just in time to save her from Cyrus's clutches? If Lucky is back in town, it's highly possible that he plays a pivotal role in stopping Cyrus once and for all. His history with Liz makes him protective of her, and if he finds out that Cyrus is targeting her, he might not hesitate to act. Could Lucky be the one to fire the fateful shot? If so, his return would not only be a dramatic twist but also a deeply emotional moment for Liz. With their complicated past, having him back in her life, especially under such dire circumstances, could open the door to an entirely new storyline. The moment of truth, who fires the shot? The final moments of the preview are filled with chaos. Gunshots ring out, and Cyrus goes down. But with multiple people potentially gunning for him, the burning question remains, who pulled the trigger? Jason Morgan, seeking justice for Sam and to protect Danny?